I don't understand why this episode makes such a big deal about putting Krabby Patties in stores when they've already been in stores for years. It doesn't make any sense.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Well, after being on the air for nearly 5 years, Season 9 of SpongeBob SquarePants has finally completed airing, and it may just be one of the most important seasons in the series' history. It slowly increased the quality of the show in my eyes, and the return of creators Steven Hillenburg and other great talents are putting the show into a second renaissance. If you want to know more about what I think of this season, check out my series of reviews on the second half of Season 9 with my pal Noah Spongy. We're currently in the middle of writing the conclusion to that series, but until then, I'm here to give you my thoughts on the final episode of the season in airing order, Goodbye Krabby Patty. Goodbye Krabby Patty has Mr. Krabs strike a deal with ad executive Don Grouper, voiced by John Hamm of Mad Men, to produce a line of frozen Krabby Patties with Patrick acting as its mascot. The line becomes so popular that Mr. Krabs retires the old patties and turns the old Krusty Krab into a museum, much to SpongeBob's dismay. However, there may be a secret to the frozen patties that is right under the noses of the citizens of Bikini Bottom. So after watching this episode for the first time, I enjoyed it, but I still feel that it has a lot of problems. The most obvious one was the episode's focus. Unlike the advertising would have you believe, Goodbye Krabby Patty puts a lot of focus on SpongeBob and Patrick's relationship being put to the test after Patrick becomes the mascot of the frozen Krabby Patty line. This is a solid plot, and I liked how Patrick wasn't turned into a jerk, something that could have easily happened here, but this should have been a subplot instead of the main plot that the episode treats it as. The huge change to the Krusty Krab plays second fiddle to the SpongeBob and Patrick story, when it should have been front and center. In fact, Patrick didn't even really need to be the mascot for most of the plot to happen, so why exactly was that plot included? The lack of focus also caused the frozen Krabby Patty plot to be a little disappointing. The big secret of them wasn't much of a secret at all, and we hardly saw much of Mr. Krabs and Don Grouper. We didn't even get a good reason as to why Grouper wanted to change the formula, which was the basis for the entire plot. Also, why were there so many jokes about butts? Especially big butts.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
But the thing that helps this episode from being a total letdown are the jokes and some of the production aspects. I laughed quite a bit and enjoyed moments with characters like Squidward and Patrick. The pacing wasn't too fast despite the episode's large amount of content, and it was well animated, as to be expected from this season. Overall, Goodbye Krabby Patty was an alright episode, even though it was basically a fusion between parts of Selling Out and Patrick Smartpants, and the focus wasn't put towards the right places. The humor and solid SpongeBob and Patrick plot more than made up for it. When I watch it again, I'll probably just find a lot more problems with it, or just nitpick it a lot, but we'll have to see when Noah and I release part 3 of the Season 9B review soon. On that note, Noah just did a video on his first impressions of this episode, so you can check that out at the end of the video. Anyway, happy 200th episode, SpongeBob. It's too bad that this is totally the end of the show, and there isn't 2 more seasons and a movie that haven't been released yet. Man, is it great to live under a rock.